Good evening, Sports Trend class. Great topic, Group 1. Excited to share my insight on the NFL and their sports rights agreement with Twitter. First, I wanted to give a little bit about what I found on the NFL's audience through the GWI audience report the NFL put out in 2015. Some pretty interesting stats. One, that 65% of adults in the U.S. say they follow the NFL in some form. But more interestingly, the demographic that the NFL is struggling with on TV is the 16 to 24-year-old market in the U.S., and they are least likely to watch an NFL game on television. Strikingly enough, though, that is also the group that is most likely to watch the content online. Knowing that, I do think the NFL made a great choice in the $10 million deal they made with Twitter. There are 310 million monthly active users on Twitter, but up to 500 million people visit the site each month without logging in. 83% of the world's leaders are on Twitter. And more specifically, when looking at Twitter when it comes to athletic events, looking at the 2014 FIFA World Cup Finals, there were more than 600,000 tweets in a single minute during a match during that 2014 World Cup Final. For that reason, I think the NFL has struck gold with this agreement with Twitter, because Twitter is going to really be able to reach that group of individuals between the 16 to 24-year-old age bracket that the NFL is losing a battle with. And looking at their specific advertising partners and how that's going to be effective, I think that this is going to help for the NFL, because they're going to be able to pull in new streams of marketing revenue by going after a different group or a different set of advertisers who are trying to reach that 16 to 24-year-old age bracket. And those are, as Group 1 pointed out, those cord cutters. The group that's not necessarily using TV as their means for watching content. A couple of more stats I pulled through. Companies using Twitter see a 19% lift in customer satisfaction, which is really going to help the NFL with that younger age bracket. And then tweets actually receive 18% more click-throughs, 89% more likes, and 150% more retweets when using a brand. And 80% of Twitter users have mentioned a brand in a tweet in their lifetime using Twitter. So really, that's going to connect the NFL to a much larger audience and a much more connected audience. TV really doesn't have the ability for fans to interact. Twitter's going to give them that access. I really think that the after the television product is really going to be where Twitter's going to be able to help the NFL as well, showing the behind the scenes. The aspect of using Periscope in the locker rooms and during pregame interviews, and getting a little bit more of the NFL fan connected to the players they want to find out more about. Most of the NFL players are using Twitter in some way, shape, or form now. So now it's just going to give those fans a more of a connectability with that player. You know, that seems to be where Twitter is really separating itself from the other social mediums, is giving the fan access to their idols. That's what the NFL is really going to be able to accomplish by using this platform that Twitter's given them. I really think it's going to be extremely successful, in my opinion, in reaching their goal. Without a doubt, they're going to be able to reach a younger audience. And I think that's going to benefit the NFL in the long term. Yes, it's going to have some short-term effect on the TV rights deals with NBC and CBS. I think that they may lose a little bit of that younger group, but again, that younger group's not necessarily tuning in as much on TV. So the older generations, the Generation Y and older, especially those baby boomers, they're not using Twitter. So I still think that they're going to go for that traditional medium of watching it on TV during the regular hours, but putting some of that content for people to share or retweet some of the highlights is just going to bring a more captive audience to the NFL and really push that watching it live. Because I speak of us as the millennials and younger, want everything now, want to be able to share content and talk about it, and everybody thinks now that our opinion holds more value than it actually does. Twitter's going to give them that platform to share their opinion, to really push their influence on a specific play, or if there's a challenge. It's really going to give the NFL a chance to get more instant feedback, which I know is going to really benefit that organization when it comes to trying to utilize data and growing their following. So that's my 2 cents. Looking forward to seeing some of the other comments. If you have any for me, make sure to leave them in the post.